Hey, what's happening gamers? It's HGR here, and today I am bringing you a preview of the upcoming game Max Payne 3 for the PC, PS3 and Xbox 360. Set 8 years after the events of the last game, Max now finds himself in a new city, having left New York and has once again been double-crossed. So with the game just around the corner and set for a release date of May 18th, I have gathered all of the best bits for you. Enjoy. So the first thing of importance to note is that this time the franchise is being developed by Rockstar Games, and the lead writer will actually be Dan Houser, who was also the leading writer for most of the Grand Theft Auto series and Red Dead Redemption. So this Max Payne will no doubt have a different feel to the previous two games. As stated, the popular New York location has been moved, and we're starting to see a transition of the game being played during the daylight rather than its dark gritty setting of old. Although we have learned that the newest game looks set to continue the noir cinematic scenery that we're all used to. As the third game approaches, we learn that Max has left New York City and travelled to Sao Paulo in Brazil to work for a wealthy family as a private security agent. All we know so far is that not everything goes according to plan when Max is given the important task of protecting a young woman who then gets kidnapped. Moving on to the combat side of things, this is probably where the game appears to have gained the most substantial amount of changes. To start off, let's speak briefly about what we all know and love about Max Payne's history of combat: bullet time. For those unfamiliar, it is when, for example, Max leaps around a corner. The player can push a button and time slows down for the enemies and yourself. However, you can continue to move the cursor at a fair speed, allowing for an advantage in combat over your foes, and I am pleased to say that bullet time will of course be a reoccurrence. The main changes in combat appear to be centered around a strong artificial intelligence, allowing for enemies to act in combat entirely differently depending on the circumstances of the battle and who is fighting. For example, a gang member, being relatively untrained in weapons, will fire a gun randomly in the hopes of hitting Max, and won't think right away to take cover. However, a special ops agent will indeed take cover, and instead use precision aiming to target you. The use of various weapons will now also have a strong effect on how enemies react to damage. A shotgun will blast your foe backwards in a realistic way, whereas the use of a pistol will see your target, depending on where he's hit, sink to the floor in pain. We will also notice how your foes truly look like they can feel the bullets, as you watch them react to being shot in different areas of the body, with the kill cam being upgraded to show a slow motion death in a different way every time. Lastly, on combat, Max has been designed to ensure he stays within the world's environment, so hitting into walls in an unrealistic way should now be gone, as instead he jumps alongside it. And you will also find it useful that instead of leaping in a direction and getting straight up, the older Max will now continue to lay prone or supine and fire in a 360-degree radius. And this sequel will see the return of dual-wielding weapons such as pistols and SMGs. You will also be able to mix it up, for example, combining a shotgun in one hand and a pistol in the other, with Max being designed to move smoothly and perfectly no matter what the choice. Briefly on the environment, as previously stated, the setting of the new game has now been changed. Taking place in a new city was a good way to change up the nighttime gameplay the series was well known for to try something different. With the country being changed comes other locations in which Max will have to fight, ranging from office buildings, poor shanty towns and junkyards during the day to more familiar dark streets and building tops, and much more. Multiplayer is also a new aspect to the trilogy, and any details as yet have been vague. However, what we do know is that attempting to set the trend with new content for multiplayer, Rockstar has implemented a new kind of deathmatch called Gang Wars, in which should your team, for example, cover the most ground in a match won over territory, the next time, as an added challenge, there may be bombs on your territory to defuse. It mixes things up a little bit and is definitely looking interesting at this early stage. There also looks to be new perks as such, named bursts, in which you will be able to gain access to after getting experience points, and these look set to include the sneaky burst, which will make your character appear as an ally to enemy units, and a paranoia burst, which will make your enemy's teammates appear as hostile. These bursts will be stackable up to 3 times, meaning should you be patient and save them up, they will offer a greater effect, either working for longer periods or just having an accumulated effect. So to sum it all up, the game looks to be a fantastic third edition with its new setting, improved artificial intelligence and excellent combat and storytelling. Well gamers, that's all from me. If you're looking for more honest reviews, previews and much more, then stay tuned and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with all of my new video releases. And as always, it's HGR here with Quantic Media, and happy gaming.